VOO versus VTI. I've been asked this question more times than any other question on this channel, and I want to give you the honest answer based on the data and analytics because it's not the answer that most people are going to give you in the video. Over the past 10 years, the VOO has outperformed the VTI by about 0.5 percentage point annualized, and over the last year, the VTI has actually outperformed the VOO by 0.31 percentage. So same expense ratio, very, very highly correlated, pretty much in virtually owning the identical companies. I own 20% of the VOO in my portfolio, and I want to show you exactly why. And honestly, if you own the VOO or the VTI instead, it is almost completely fine. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, both the VOO and the VTI are from Vanguard. Both charge the exact same 0.03 expense ratio. Both are passively managed, physically replicated, and built for long-term and hold investors like myself. The only meaningful structure is actually the makeup of the ETF itself. VOO tracks the S&P 500. It is the 503 largest companies in the United States, selected by a committee that requires positive GAAP earnings for 4 consecutive quarters before they can be admitted. 500 companies, these are market cap weighted, the 500 most established, most profitable publicly traded companies in the United States. On the other side of it, with the VTI, it is and tracks the CRISPR US Total Market Index. Every essentially publicly traded company in the United States is going to be part of this ETF, roughly 3,644 stocks as of 2026. It owns the identical 500 companies that we see in the VOO, but it does include every mid-cap company and every small-cap company as long as they meet the very basic liquidity requirements. No committee, no earning thresholds at all. The VTI allocates approximately 72% of its weight to those large caps. These are the exact same large cap companies that we see in the VOO. Mid caps are getting 17%, small caps are getting 11%, which means if you're investing $1, 72% is going into the exact overlap that we see with the VOO. Those extra 3,100 smaller companies represent only 28% of the VTI's total market. When Apple has a huge quarter, both of these funds are going to move almost identical because of the market weighted cap, and they are very largely weighted in both of these ETFs. So here's what 20 years of data actually tells us. Over the past 10 years, the VOO has returned 15.25 annualized, the VTI 14.76. That is a 0.5 percentage point gap in favor of the VOO. In the past year, the VTI has actually returned 22.3, the VOO 21.99. So again, that 0.31 percentage gap, but now it is going towards the VTI. When we start looking at the 20-year average, the 10-year average, even looking at the historical differences between the two funds, it never really exceeds that 0.5 percentage in either direction. Sometimes the VOO is up a little bit higher, sometimes it falls to the VTI. Now the gap, that 0.1 to 0.5 percentage point, is a little bit of a determining factor, but not a really game changer. When you look at a $10,000 investment compounded over 20 years, the difference between that 15.25 and the 14.76 is about $12,000 in favor of the VOO. When you start looking at a very big extended amount of time, that is real money, but the gap is not going to change any trajectory in a portfolio built over an entire decade. So why has the VOO won over the last decade? When you start looking at the last 10 years, it has been absolutely dominated by these mega cap tech companies. Looking at Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Alphabet, Amazon, the list goes on and on with how huge and how big these companies are. VOO holds these more than they do in the VTI because of the total portfolio weight and having only 500 companies in there instead of holding the 3,644, which is in the VTI. Now that mega cap concentration in the VOO has been and continues to be the advantage when it comes to AI. If you believe these mega cap stocks are going to continue to run, VOO is going to be more beneficial. And if you believe the cycle is going to go into those mid and small caps, the VTI is going to, of course, capture that in its entirety. Now, before I tell you exactly why I own the VOO, I want to give you the strongest bear case really for the VTI because it deserves it, guys. When we start looking at history, Amazon, Google, Netflix, some of these companies were small cap companies, mid cap companies before they came into the S&P 500. When you start looking at the total market, investors bought them and really grew with these companies through the entire journey. S&P investors only really picked them up once they got to the size to join the S&P 500. And that means a majority of their potential returns and really substantial returns have already happened in the small and the mid cap categories. The S&P 500 committee requires those 4 consecutive quarters of positive GAAP earnings before admission. A company can be valued at hundreds of billions of dollars and still be excluded from that S&P 500 if they don't meet this rule. SpaceX is the perfect example of this. When you look at the SPCX listed, but the SPCO, the operating company, is not listed in the S&P 500, despite it having a $1.75 trillion valuation, because they have not met those GAAP principles. The economic case for the VTI is genuinely strong. When we look at Vanguard's founder, Jack Bogle, he built the entire index thesis around owning the entire market, not having a committee that is going to give you curated slices like we see in that S&P 500. The total market ownership is theoretically the optimal portfolio if you believe that markets and companies within that market are very efficient, because the market prices collectively incorporates all of the available information. It is not any subset and any tilt that is in there to the optimal portfolio. VTI is a lot closer to the original Bogle thesis than we have the VOO. Now that only matters philosophically when it even hasn't mattered numerically over the last decade. So then the question becomes, why the VOO? Why at 20% instead of the VTI in my portfolio? There are 3 specific reasons. First, the small cap premium argument with the VOO is real in theory, but it's very complicated in practice. The size premium in academic finance exists more reliably in those high quality small cap stocks, not the entire small cap universe. When we start looking at the VTI, it owns roughly 3,100 additional companies that are small cap and those mid cap companies, but they are market weighting, meaning there is a very marginal weight given to them proportionally to the market size. Many small cap companies that make up the VTI or the tail end of the VTI are losing money in their entirety, or they are companies that are going to be in a declining industry or something that could be out of business in the near future. That premium shows up in factor research, and it comes from screening quality within those small caps. The VTI does not screen. You get the whole universe, including all of the junk. If you actually want small cap premium, there are dedicated small cap value funds that'll perform a lot better than the percentage that they have in the VTI with that passive market approach. Now, the second one in here is concentration in my very specifically built portfolio. I already hold the QQQM at 20%, SPMO at 30%, the SMH at 15%, all of which have a very heavy tilt towards those mega cap companies and large cap growth companies. My portfolio factor exposure does not need mid caps and small caps to support it. The diversification that we're going to get with a very small percentage, a really subset with the VOO and the VTI. I need the simplest, broadest market index that we have in there. Having the VOO with 503 holdings in most established companies in the world, it is very clean. It is very simple. No redundancy in any of those positions that we have, even if some of those subsectors do carry some of the mid cap or small cap. And the third, most honestly, the 0.5 percentage point difference between the VOO that has been favored, not going to statistically make a huge difference in the portfolio, but I could flip the choice tomorrow. In the long run, the margins would be very, very close. I own the VOO because I choose to make this my foundation in my portfolio to keep it very simple, not because the data has proven that the VOO is superior over an extended amount of time. So here's the actual decision framework rather than just a single verdict of these ETFs, because this is genuinely depending on your situation. If you're brand new starting off today and you have 0 positions, the VTI is very defensible default. When we look at Jack's Bogle logic, it is very sound in owning the entire market at a 0.03 expense ratio. The diversification within there is real, even though it hasn't produced numerical results that we're seeing. It's really hard to argue with I own the entire US stock market. Very hard when there is a subset. Now, of course, if you already own the VOO in a taxable brokerage account with meaningful gains, do not sell it. Do not switch to the VTI by any means. The capital gains cost is going to offset any of those margins that you have. And of course, the VOO has run a little bit better. Keep contributing, leave existing positions exactly where they're at. The tax friction that it can really exceeds the expected return that we see switching from the VOO to the VTI. If you own it in a Roth IRA, Roth 401k where there's no tax consequence, it is really your preference to what you want to own. Pick whatever philosophy really resonates with you. If you want to own the top 500 companies, or if you want to own all 3,600 of them, and really the retirement is not really going to make a big difference either way. Both are very excellent. The gap is just a small amount of noise. So here's the verdict that most people will not give you. The answer to the VOO versus the VTI is it really doesn't matter at the exact same expense ratio. Got a 0.99 correlation, so it is almost entirely correlated. Really the 0.1 to a 0.5 percentage point, even over 20 years came out to about $12,000. Both of these ETFs are absolutely outstanding as a core. The choice is the philosophy, whether you want to really give it up to the committee selecting those 500 companies, or if you just want to own the entire market in the entirety without having and really optimizing that decision. I own the VOO just because of how it already fits in my portfolio, which is heavily tilted towards those large cap growth ETFs, the SPMO and the QQQM. Now, if I was starting from scratch day one, I would probably invest in the VTI. The difference would not change my retirement really by enough to even matter. Drop a comment down below. Do you own the VOO, the VTI, or owning both? And honestly, does knowing the performance gap of roughly 0.5% over 20 years change how you feel about either of these ETFs? I read every single comment and reply to them. Subscribe this week if I've given you any insight into really building or defending the real ETF portfolios that we talk about, and I'll catch you in the next video.